Welcome back to the Navy Sports Magazine. We're presented by the Navy Federal Credit Union. Of course, a couple of weeks ago, we had a chance to shine the light on Maryland's Eastern Shore with Cameron Horner of the swimming team. And this week, we get a chance to do it with Mason MacKenzie on the Navy rifle team. And, Mason, obviously, the Eastern Shore, I know, presents a lot of opportunities to go after some waterfowl and some deer and things of that nature. But where did the love of shooting come from? Because this is obviously something you had in your background and certainly successful at the high school level before coming to the academy.
So I actually grew up, of course, on the Eastern Shore, but my father was in law enforcement. But outside of law enforcement, he was also a handgun competitor. So he was a 5-state handgun champion many years in a row. And my grandfather, my father's father, was also a police officer and then a handgun competitor himself. And he was also the same 5-state handgun champion. So at a very young age, I was introduced to shooting all the time and shooting on our home farm and shooting at ranges. And of course, I loved it. And at the age of seven or 8 years old, my uncle, who is Lou MacKenzie, the assistant coach here at the academy for the rifle team, he taught the local 4-H team where I was from and on the Eastern Shore for about 20-25 years, very long time. And I joined the club when I was 8 years old and started taking it seriously when I was about 12 years old. And then from there on, I just competed actively in the club and at a very broad level.
The fact that you could find competition within that, and I know, obviously at Queen Anne's County High, they got all the relative sports just like everybody else. But the fact that you were able to see competition within this and find competition and really be able to, scratch that competitive niche from that standpoint. As you realize that, how different was that just compared to maybe a lot of the other kids that you socialized with and stuff in school at that point?
Yeah, well, it's not a very popular sport, of course, but on the East Coast of the United States, it's actually very popular compared to everywhere else in the country. And then but luckily in Maryland and then Virginia, we had several teams, probably a dozen to 15 teams within the tri-state area. And that allowed us to travel locally somewhat and compete with all the other teams and host matches of our own. So that luckily for us, we were in a good spot that we didn't have to travel too far to find competition.
I know we all grow up shooting BB guns, 410s. We all go to turkey shoots and things of that nature. And I've threatened for years, because before we couldn't do it, because while you all were in school, technically for years was an NCAA violation to take you all to turkey shoots and win hams and bacon and all that other stuff. But the fact that as you graduate up the level, the different apparatuses that you're using, when was your first introduction to air rifle and small bore and things of that nature? The things, obviously, now the tools you use to compete here for one of the best rifle teams in the country.
Yeah, like I said, my local 4-H marksmanship team in Queen Anne's County, I was introduced there. So when I was 8 years old, they have small bore guns there and they have air rifle guns there. And then we all start out with small bore in a prone position. And then we work our way up to kneeling, and then we work our way up to standing. And then from there, you can switch over to air rifle, which is all standing. It's not 3 position. And you just work your way up until you're comfortable with everything, both guns, every position. And then from there, you just keep growing, keep practicing.
I was going to say, too, I mean, could you have asked for better teachers along the way, just from, being able, as you know, from the very beginning, how to handle your weapon, how to care for your weapons, and then obviously when you get to the range, knowing what to do when you get there? Could you have asked for better teaching growing up, as you detailed earlier?
I don't think I could have. Like I said, I started off with my uncle, who was the head coach at our marksmanship team. And he has been the assistant coach here at the academy for about 10 years now. Right. So the fact that he was recruited here, and he was never a competitor himself growing up. He just taught because his son, one of my cousins, shot for the team, and then he went to the University of Alabama for shooting. And then he just continued coaching, and he was just had very good success levels and gave out probably 20 to 25 Division I scholarships by coaching that high school team. And so he was a great coach. And then when he left, my father took over, and he never did 22s or air rifle. Like I said, he was a pistol competitor. So he was a little fresh and a little green, but he did it for as long as I did it and watching his own brother teach. So, and he also went to many clinics, local clinics. And then at the same time, when he travel, I was traveling to the Junior Olympics and the national championships. You run into so many people who are compete at such high levels, Olympic levels, and meeting Olympic athletes. And so from there, they're like teachers as well, even if you only know them for 2 or 3 days at a time.
Being a captain at the Naval Academy means more than a lot of places. This is an institution that prides itself on developing leaders. When you attain that at the academy, it means something different. What has it meant to you to be part of a rifle team that, when pressed against one of the best in the country this week, you all fired one of the best scores the academy's ever had?
It's just an amazing opportunity. I tell people that all the time. I've been with the team my whole 4 years, and I've always been very active. But being able to have one of the smallest teams on a yard, about just 12 people, it's very close knitted, and everybody is best friends, and we all hang out outside of rifle range at home, and we've come so close together. I've known everybody all my 4 years so good. So being able to be selected as team captain, and which has been a dream of mine since I was a plebe, an amazing opportunity, and being able to face the odds and grow every single year that I've been here. And to, like you said, go shoot against West Virginia, who was number 1 or number 2 ranked in the nation at the moment, and fire one of our best scores. It's just humbling, and it's very nice. My team has never had a problem facing a hard competitor and performing to the best of their abilities.
This week we know is different. The marquee certainly sells itself, but how do you try not to overcoach or over prepare a youngster like Parker Hayden, who's had terrific individual success, to make sure that you just go to the range and do your thing Saturday, even though at the end of this thing there's a great reward with a potential star on the line?
So I don't mean to correct you, but Parker's actually a plebe. So one of our best shooters on the team, Parker Hayden, is a plebe, and we go into practice every day with a purpose. So we make sure, me and the coaches make sure that everybody knows to just focus on something so small every single day. Don't focus on a broad topic. And for important matches like this, it's important to let the team know that, there's nothing to be worried about. There's nothing to be stressed about. You practice 5, 6, 7 days a week, for months on end. And one day is not going to change anything that you've worked for. And at the end of the day, you're still a midshipman. You're still at one of the best institutions in the world. You're still going to go see your friends and family afterwards. This match doesn't make who you are as a person. So just reminding them that, as it is great to win and great to compete, there should be no pressure, because at the end of the day, it doesn't change who you are as a person.
Yeah, it's awesome perspective. And from talking to Coach Ante through the years and talking to, fellow rifle competitors, we talk about, certainly on the layperson looks at it as, hitting the target, things of that nature. But the physical and mental part of this as well. And I know just the little things I've picked up through the years, the breathing techniques to make sure your body is as calm as possible as you get ready to shoot. Is that something, do you think you ever master that? Or is that just something that as you compete year in, year out, match to match, you just try to master that day the best you can and try to put your best, finger forward on the trigger?
Well, it definitely takes a long time to develop that. And I don't think it's like a show up on match day and try to do your best to do it. I think for all of us, it comes very natural, just
Right.
doing it for many, many years and doing it, like you said, day in and day out. The breathing part is not the hard part. The hard part is being disciplined. Like you said, it's not a physical sport whatsoever. It's a mental sport. It's 90% mental, maybe 10% physical with your muscle and bone structure. But other than that, the hard part is being disciplined enough to try to shoot a 10, which is the highest shot, which is the size of a period at the end of a sentence that's maybe 50 feet away, and you're standing and holding a gun with open sights and no scope, no support. That's the discipline part, is trying to aim very small and do that, not just once, but 50, 60 times throughout the match.
Yeah. You've been chasing this sport for a long time, obviously. It's meant a lot to you. Has it carried you to exactly where you were hoping it would take you? Certainly to a great institution, a great education, and obviously, as you know, a great life that potentially follows after graduation as well.
Yeah, I am so thankful for the sport. Being able to be recruited to the academy for it. The academy was the only school I applied to. I didn't apply anywhere else. I put 100% of my effort towards it, and 100% of my effort towards rifle as well in high school to try to be recruited here. And like you said, it's the most rewarding institution in the country, in my opinion. And I don't regret anything, and I am 100% thankful for everything that has happened to me.
He's from Maryland's Eastern Shore and a great representative, indeed, the pride of Queen Anne's County. Hi, Mason. Appreciate the time today. Best of luck to you and your teammates as you compete against Army coming up this weekend. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.